Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am Jared Hinkey, the MLS coordinator at KAAR, here to bring you another edition of Tips and Tricks. In this edition of Tips and Tricks, I'm going to be showcasing the data shares that we set up with the Greater Chattanooga Association of Realtors and the Tennessee-Virginia Regional MLS. To access that information, I'm going to launch a quick search. Now I see this relatively new field here, MLS of Knoxville Area Association of Realtors. If I click into this field, I'm going to see those options to search for listings coming from the Greater Chattanooga Association of Realtors or that Tennessee-Virginia Regional MLS. I will go ahead and click on the Greater Chattanooga Realtors, and now I'm searching for listings coming from their MLS. The first thing I want to talk about is that the search fields that you'll have are going to be different from the search fields that you see when you're looking for listings in our MLS. To familiarize yourself with those different search fields, you can click on Add a Field to the Search, and this will give you a list of all the search fields that they have in their MLS to help you search for listings coming from the Greater Chattanooga Association of Realtors. Scrolling on up, I can search for listings in multiple MLSs at a time by holding that control button and clicking on the name of the MLS I wish to add. I'll go ahead and keep on holding control and click on the TNVA Regional MLS. Now I'm looking at listings from all three of these MLSs. The important thing to note is that the search fields that I see are only going to be those search fields that all three of these MLSs have in common. So when I click on Add a Field to the Search, I'll have a lot less search fields. And again, I'm only seeing the search fields that all three of these MLSs have in common. Now I'm going to pick just one of the MLSs that's not our own and head on over to Detail. The listing information is displayed differently from what we normally see in our MLS, so take some time to familiarize yourself with how the listing information is displayed coming from these other MLSs. And there is one important thing to note. The data share does not include the cooperative compensation. The data share just gives you the ability to see listings coming from these other MLSs. Beyond being able to view that listing information coming from those other MLSs, I can also share this information by my client the same way I'd share listings coming from our MLS. So I can send them an email, I can save and add a subscription, and when my client is logged into their client portal, and they're using the search feature, when they go to filter, they will have a field for data source, and they can pick the MLS that data is coming from. The last thing that we'll look at when it comes to the data share is under the menu, and it's going to be under Preferences, General Preferences. The first one that we find is Flexmls Quick Search. Please choose an MLS to search by default. So whatever box I check here, when I launch a quick search, that will be the MLS of option that I'm going to see by default. Let's go back to the menu and General Preferences again. And the last thing we'll look at is this option under Quick Launch, Show Results from my MLS first. And all this means is that when I'm using the Quick Launch bar up here, if I type in an MLS number and there's an overlapping MLS number from another MLS, the listing from our MLS is going to show up first. And then underneath that, I'll get the listing from the other MLS. Or if I type in an address and it's listed in both our MLS and another MLS, the result from our MLS is going to show up first. And then below that will be the result from the other MLS. That is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and keep an eye out for more tips and tricks videos in the future.